Hey everybody, Gnome here, representing server X160, the best server in all Lithas. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to talk about a couple things that came with the patch last night, including a little maintenance compensation. Always nice to get a summoning stone, 100 diamonds, and some other stuff. It's kind of nice. Okay, anyhow. So we have a new Bloodcraft Legend, and we have a new clan coming out here on the next cycle. We have Aiko. She is pretty awesome. Look at this design. Obviously, the Ho clan mixed with the boom Tide Tide Storm. Because we have level 22 aggressive, that's Tide Storm. Unless these have just not been updated, because also I came in here to actually summon her, and when you do that and you click on select champion, it asks for the Zace clan. And I think I have somebody from all the other clans, so no one's popping up. It's literally just Zace. So I really think that it's more likely that the traits are correct on that. So it's going to be the Ho clan along with the Tide Storm. But what I don't understand is in the guild, I don't know if they're just letting us preview her for next season or what's going on, because obviously you can't summon her because they don't have that set up really. They don't have access to any of her shards either. But see, they have this Romulus shard that I'm going for. I think that's going to be a really cool champ. I love Goltun's clan trait. And I think at level 22, it's 200% strength as a shield, refresh every 6 seconds, or cooldown every 6 seconds. And then, not to mention, the other Thunderlord, which I really like, Furious Thunderbolt, which is the clan trait. And there's a big discussion on Discord about this right here. And it really definitely Gold Tongue, most likely Thunderlord to go with it. So Furious Thunderbolt is awesome. And imagine a Bloodcraft with that. You could just build so many combos while having a defensive ability and steadfast. So you're going to want brutal. Anyhow, really want that a lot. That's going to be cool. So I'm kind of going for that. I have, what is it? I have 60 of them, and I have enough to get another 60, maybe 75 more. So I'll grab those. I really want that champ. I like Sunbolt, but just I can't really afford her. She's really awesome. Like, what a cool Bloodcraft. Grawl on my server has been using her a lot, kind of in testing in the arena. Been destroying me. I think I showed a video or a part of that in my Namish School of Strategy. I think it's episode 3. And just Grawl demolishes me, and he only has 4 of his champs. But one of them's Sunbolt, so she's really good. And then we also have our new clan, the Kivak clan. I believe that's the name. Let's go all the way down here. Wish there was a little button down here. Goat Games developers, if y'all are listening. If there was like a button down here that y'all have used to go down to the bottom, that'd be nice to have. I think everyone would enjoy that. So, little heads up for you if any of you watch my videos. All right, so it's the Kivak clan, and they look amazing. They are centaurs. This guy has like a spear, just looks so awesome. The, yeah, quiver of arrows, or no, is that a quiver of arrows? Oh, it's just more spears in a holster on his back. That's really cool. And he basically flops between melee and ranged, kind of warrior form and marksman form, and just super cool looking kit that we're going to discuss here. I like the antlers. I like the little light in between it there. The pink hair looks really cool. Man, what a cool looking champ. And then we have the female, and she's just as cool looking. Look at that. Kind of this twisted oaken shield with runes on it and some kind of aura going around it. She again has the lunar form between her antlers, and she has a spear. I don't know. I think she just holds on to that. She's not tossing them, I don't think. I don't know. We'll see in the gameplay. Just really cool. The pink hair as well. Really cool tattoos on her. Just cool looking spear. I'm digging it. And I can't wait to find out what the clan trait is, too. But it's a marksman. We needed a marksman. What do we have? A mage, an assassin, a warrior, a tank, and then we had a warrior and then a marksman before that. So it's been an extra warrior over a whole cycle since we've had a marksman. I hate marksmen. The only good marksman I like is female Selphos. I have female Goldtongue at 700, and I like the animation. I like the PvE kit of the male Thunderlord, and I never mess with the female Thunderlord. But either way, I'll make a highlight video on this Kivak clan, and I'll kind of level up the male and the female, try to get them, to a decent level. I think I have some good fodder for marksmen, so that'll be really nice. All right, so, and then finally, what we're going to talk about is the new sprite that came out and how it's going to affect um, group compositions, traits. There's going to be a lot of differences because this new guy, kind of like a squat little winged beast here, it's the Awakened Bulko Affinity. And let's check them out real quick. So, decent stats. It's an epic. It's got hulking presence. Increases the damage dealt by all back row allied champions by 10%. So kind of like a high spirited, but damage instead of strength. And prevents all enemies from casting their ultimate within 10 seconds after the battle starts. This debuff can be dispelled. So there's going to be a couple counters to this. There's going to be introducing a dispeller, or I think there's a trait that might dispel when you auto attack or something like that. So that might have to be a deal because this is going to destroy male water and sun groups unless you put that trait on your male water and sun. So hopefully he will auto attack, dispel this skill, this hulking presence, and then start being able to pulse. So if you have a focused, basically I can see that trait replacing it. Let's go look at traits real quick. Let's see what we're going to have to do to counter that. I know I'm scatterbrained. I'm sorry about that, but we'll get back on where we need to be here pretty soon. All right, so let's look at what trait we might have to actually have. I thought that there was something like we could hit a little info button or something to kind of give us a list of the traits, but it's okay. I'll just do something like this. I'm not going to do this right now, but okay, there is it. Pure Hearted, I believe, is the name of the skill, the trait. So Pure Heart, when attacking, there's a 20% chance to remove all debuff effects from the attacker. So I think that's removing them from yourself. So, and it removes all of them, which is really nice. So if there's any actives that put a debuff or anything like that, you'll be potentially getting rid of those as well. And 20% chance is pretty good. So putting this Pure Heart on your male water and sun is probably going to have to be a default when dealing with this new sprite. So just guessing. And right now, look, I have focused, ambitious, fierce, and brutal. I would probably just get rid of the focused, hope that my auto attacks with rapid shot from someone else on the team would essentially cause him to trigger his Pure Heart as soon as possible. And then because of the ambitious and his passive, he'll just start pulsing right after that. So yeah, everybody's going to have that. I'm fairly certain. So just a heads up. That's how I'm going to counter it. Or the other way to counter it is by just building your team so that they don't focus on the first 10 seconds of building energy or anything like that. And so essentially you're using actives. And someone that really comes to mind is the female Silken Crown, in that her ult is amazing. It does a ton of damage, don't get me wrong. but her auto attack has the passive where it puts cobwebs everywhere, which cobwebs are completely different than spider webs. Go games. I wish you wouldn't have called them cobwebs. Like, call them strands or something else, but cobwebs just, goodness. Okay, sorry. Rant over. So let's discuss the Kivak clan first and kind of the idea that I think might go behind it. Again, go games. Oh, sorry. What am I doing in here? Go games. If you could please, what am I doing? Renowned champions. If you could please put a button down here at the bottom right so it takes you all the way to the bottom. And it's great. It's a compliment to you. You've released a ton of champions. It's looking good. Just let us get to the bottom a little quicker, please. So we'll go ahead and start with the male. He's really cool. So basically his concept is he swaps between melee and ranged form. So we'll start with his passive. The caster possesses 2 combat forms, Marksman range and Warrior melee, and receives bonus buffs from each form. While in Marksman form, so while he's just sitting back and plinking away at people, the caster's attack speed is increased by 30%, so he's a faster attacker when he's ranged, and each attack deals an additional damage equal to 12% of the target's current constitution, capped at 500% of the caster's strength. And why that's really awesome is it's going to be limited by the 500% of the strength, because that's only times 5 of the strength, I believe. So if his strength is 5 million, your cap is 15 million, which is still really good. Oh, wait, sorry. It might be the current constitution might be the true cap. Sorry, didn't mean to offend. And remember, is attacking faster. So boom, boom, boom. Every hit does, normal damage, and then 12% of the target's current constitution. So let's just imagine the enemy, for easy purposes, has 100 million health, and that's most tanks, really. Most people are floating around, I think, 60 million to maybe 90 million-ish, unless you have energetic. And so let's just say 100 million. And so it's a really buffed non-tank, or it is a really low, no energetic tank. So 12% would be 12 million right at the beginning, like the first hit. Now it's going to go down as the enemy's health goes down, of course, but that's when the other form comes into play. That's really cool. While in warrior form, the caster's strength is increased by 25%, and each attack deals an additional damage deals additional damage equal to 12% of the target's constitution lost. Equal to 12% of the target's missing constitution is what it should read. And so if it's basically the opposite. So if there's a 100 million constitution character he's going against, and he flops over to melee form, he's going to do 12% of the target's constitution lost. So it's 50 million lost. 12% of that would be 6 million he's doing with each additional attack. And not to mention, his strength is higher, and so the cap's probably not going to be the strength again in this. But they float around pretty close to each other, so keep that in mind. So each time the caster switches form... Each time the caster switches form, the buff from the previous form will be kept for 3 seconds. This effect cannot be removed and doesn't stack. That is so good. So flopping between forms with the passive. So now we have the active. Tactical transformation. If cast in the marksman form, so if he's ranged, he dashes to the current target he's attacking, dealing damage equal to 520% of his strength, which is really high on marksman, so that's nice. Inflicting stun for 3 seconds, triggers Male, Water, and Sun's passive. Then switching to warrior form. So he's attacking faster in marksman form. He's doing current constitution extra damage. And then he goes to cast his active, and he dashes into melee range, does 520% of his strength and stuns, and he goes into warrior form. So, and if he's in warrior form, attacks the current target, so he hits whoever he's attacking, dealing 520% of his strength, and then he knocks back that enemy and inflicts lockdown. I don't know what that is. I don't know what lockdown is. It'd be nice if that would be explained. I'm guessing maybe they're immobilized, or I don't know, maybe they can't do anything. And he backing off a short distance and switches to marksman form. So not only does he knock back the current target, but then he kind of backs off a little bit and he becomes a marksman. And so just swapping forms back and forth the whole battle here. It's really cool. So, and then the final, the ultimate, is Combat Zeal. Immediately receives the bonus buffs from both combat forms. Nice. So attack speed increase by 30%, strength increase by 25%, which can simultaneously exist with passive skills buffs. So I'm also guessing that he gets the current damage and he gets the damage or con lost, both affecting. So that could be upwards in the middle of like 20 million, 30 million, something like that, if he's at 3 million strength. The caster becomes immune to control effects, gains 25% lifesteal for 8 seconds. So, okay, gains 25% lifesteal and immune to control effects for 8 seconds. That's awesome. Being immune to control effects can be really helpful. I like that ability. During this period, each attack reduces the active skill cooldown by 12%. So, assuming he can get off an attack every second, with rapid shot, maybe agile, whatever. And remember, he gets 30% bonus attack speed from his passive during this point. And so he's attacking quicker. So each attack reduces active skill cooldown by 12%. So that's 8 times 12, 6. That's 96%. It basically completely resets your active. Like if you haven't already by now, So that active then goes off, so he swaps form and just flopping all over the place. But the nice part is he gets away from people when he needs to be ranged, and he gets into attack when he needs to be melee, and he's really efficient at both. So awesome champion. I don't know. I just need to test them both. Like the female, get ready. She's really cool too. So the female, Kivak, she's awesome. She's got her shield. So you got to know she's a little defensive just from her appearance, I would hope. So let's start with her passive. Kivak Piercing Spear. When using normal attacks or her active skill, the spear has a 30% chance to trigger a piercing effect, which ignores 30% of the target's strength resistance and fortitude. So getting into the defenses a little bit. I like that. Gets past strength resistance and fortitude. There's a lot more people using strength resistance. And so there's a 30% chance to trigger a piercing effect. Like the only bummer I have with using that word piercing effect, I think that it's like male Thunderlords, that his attacks go through his enemy and land, and it might hit another enemy on the other side. So, but this is more like armor piercing effect. A 30% chance to trigger an armor piercing effect. I would differentiate between that. I know it adds a little more text. It's annoying, but come on, give us that. And remember, it ignores 30% of target's strength, resistance, fortitude. When being triggered, recovers the caster's constitution by 20% of the damage dealt. So probably going to be a big hit. And there's a 25... when being triggered, so there's a 30% chance she's getting life recovery, which is pretty significant because she's hitting hard. And remember, this happens during the active or normal attacks. And it also... also reduces the active skill's cooldown by 10%. Okay, so when it's triggered, it also reduces the active skill cooldown by 10%. Nice. That's cool. Good ability. So really reducing armor, reducing strength resistance, doing a lot of damage that way. So she nimble pounces are active, leaps backward and throws spears at 4 random enemies, including the current target. So jumps back, throw. This reminds me of a character in League of Legends. Oh, she was really fun. She was like a dryad, and she'd jump around throwing her spears, and no one could like get to her. So that's what this champion's reminded me of. Nimble pounce. Okay, jumps backward, throws spears at 4 random enemies, including the current target. So I'm assuming there's no range issue there. So she jumps back and throws spears at 4 random enemies. So there's 5 enemies. So she throws 4 spears. It doesn't say if the same enemy can be hit. So say there's 1 enemy left on the battlefield. Does she jump back and throw 4 spears at that 1 enemy? If so, that's pretty powerful, because each of those spears have a 30% chance to proc that armor piercing effect, which is pretty insane. So, if there are enemies nearby when casting, the caster leaps in the opposite direction of the nearest enemy and throws spears at 4 random enemies. Wow, so this is crazy. So she leaps backward, throws spears at 4 random enemies, including the current target. Like one of those is the current target. If there are enemies nearby when casting, so if she jumps backward and there's an enemy near her, she'll jump in a different direction of the closest enemy, and she'll throw spears at 4 random enemies. So she has the potential to go off twice, basically, with her active. So jumps back, throws 4 spears, 1 hitting her current target. If there's anybody near her when she jumps backwards, she'll jump another direction that's away from the nearest enemy and throw spears at 4 random enemies, and that doesn't include the current target, apparently. Each spear deals damage equal to 380% of the caster's strength and inflicts silence. Come on, people. This is insane. Think about that. 4 times 380 is 1,520. So 1,520. Right? 4 times that. 2, 3, yeah. 1,520. Wow. Wow. And then, if there's another enemy nearby, which you're probably at this point hoping that that's the case, she jumps again and throws another 4 spears for another 1,520% of her strength damage to all those. Oh my goodness. She is nuts. So basically, with her active, you want her just jumping into people. So if they have a male bloom on their team, she's going to be triggered constantly. Now, the problem is one of the 4 enemies could be one of the male bloom illusions, but who cares? That's insane. All right, I can already tell you, I'm getting her instead. I'm getting the female instead of the male. She's way too good. Like, I don't have enough summoning stones to get the female with the 300, but man, she's so good. I might use some diamonds because, wow, she is awesome. I hope I just get her. I hope I just pull her without having to go to 300. That'd be nice. So each spear deals that, and again, not to mention the silence. So that's 8 silences. So she's way overpowered with this active. I'm assuming she can't hit the same target twice. I wish that would be in the text, so Goat Games, please do that. So she's already amazing just with her passive and with her active. And look, each of these, whenever this piercing effect goes off, it reduces the active's cooldown. So this thing's getting cooled down. This girl does so much damage. Like, she's going to be one of my top champions. I can already tell you that. Wow. I mean, the male is incredible, and he's a fun kit. But okay, so here's her ult. Battlefield maneuver. Upon casting her ult, immediately refresh the active skills cooldown. We already just said she does over 3,000% of her strength with her active. And her passive has the ability to reduce the cooldown of the active. Now, when she uses her ult, so basically, you don't need ambitious on her and you don't need focused on her. You could just focus on like aggressive. You can focus on, of course, brutal, but maybe fighting will, because she's going to be using that ult active. And fighting will is the Drive Apollo clan trait that gives strength right off the get. Or Lionheart. Give her some awesome demon wings. See what that looks like. And that'll give her some damage, more damage output. But she is pure damage. This woman's nuts. They're going to nerf her. I'll put money on it. They're going to nerf her. Okay. So, it immediately refreshes the active skills cooldown. It increases attack speed by 40%. Oh my god. So, as her attack speed's increased, her passive effect is going to be triggered more, which decreases the cooldown of her active. So not only does it immediately refresh the active, but now it's making the active go off more, and she's got increased attack speed. She's already doing a ton of damage. So during that 7 seconds that she has increased attack speed, spears thrown by the active skill and normal attacks have 100% hit rate. Oh my goodness. Guess what? I don't have the Guardian Stones to increase Marksman's hit rate. This solves that. Just like Male, Water, and Sun, he doesn't really do his normal attack, his auto attack. So you don't really have to focus on hit rate. And I think his pulses from his ult always hit. I wish someone would confirm or deny that for me. Then that would let me know if I need to go hit. But basically now with Marksman, it's nice with female Selphos, it's nice with female Goltung, but you don't need hit with this girl because she gets 100% hit rate. And it doubles the active skill's chance to trigger piercing effect. So, not only does it increase her attack speed by 40% for 7 seconds, any spears thrown have 100% hit rate, and it doubles the passive skill, which is normally 30%, so it becomes 60%. So 60% to ignore 30% target strength and fortitude, so already doing huge hits with that. And then when it's triggered, so like it just doubled the amount that it's going to be triggered. So now it's going to she's going to be healing more with that, and not to mention her attack speed boost. And then it's going to reduce the active skills cooldown by even more, like faster. So she's basically always going to be doing this nimble pounce all over the battlefield. They're going to totally nerf her. She's awesome. I can't wait to get her and test her. I'm going to level her up. I don't even care if I don't have the mythic yet, because I will get the companion. But yeah, she's definitely on my radar. Again, bummer she's a marksman, but it doesn't really bother me too much because all I need to do is max her strength. And she's jumping away from people all the time. So, like, I'm not too worried about, like, her defensive abilities. And so, like, her Guardian Stone would just be strength, damage reduction, maybe con, maybe, depending on if you're focused on other marksmen. But it would just give me one more marksman that I'll play with. So I might take away from my blood crafts and give to her. Anyhow, awesome champions. Kivak clan, they get my thumbs up. Awesome. Super cool. So let's quickly do the other ones. Let's jump through these. Now we have the new Bloodcraft Legend, or the new preview. Because like I said, Romulus are the shards. So if they're not going with Romulus and they're going with her, I hope they give me back those shards so that I could spend them on her, because she's awesome. All right, so we talked about a little bit. Her traits are aggressive and high-spirited. That's the Ho clan. That is the Tidestorm clan. This one only goes up to 20% ever, but it goes up quicker with each attack. And the Ho Clan gives 20% strength to the people in the back row for the first 10 seconds, which is a nice counter to Male Water and Sun's suppression, which everybody is always having. And then, so let's go into her abilities. Her passive, Heavenly Penance, it's not that long. Enemies who have received the caster's damage have their damage taken increased by 25%. That is nuts. Her passive is basically Male Shark's ult, almost, basically. So anyone who's received the caster's damage, they take 25% more damage. That's nuts. Reducing the recovery effect by 100% for 3 seconds. Now, I don't know if that's energy recovery rate, if that's health recovery rate. I mean, but whatever it is, they don't recover for 100% for 3 seconds, which is pretty insane. So I think I'm already liking her. She's insanely good. Increasing everybody else's damage taken. Wow. All right, her active is Sacred Empowerment. Cast a 4-second blessing upon the caster and a random ally. It might be in the P1 position, just like the female hoe. They always said random, but it always affected the P1, which I'm cool with, because then you can make sure you decide where it's going, but it's not random ally. So I'm guessing going in the P1 position. So it's upon her and the ally, not just the ally, which is nice. The effect increases strength resistance by 20%. Awesome. And recovers 300 energy in total. Now I don't, because it's 4 seconds. So 300 divided by 4 is going to be 70 something a second. So in Divine Presence, that must be her ult status, cast Motivated instead. So instead of Blessed effect, it casts Motivated, which increases damage by a certain percentage. They haven't put it yet. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot. So at the beginning, she just casts this blessing to kind of make them live a little longer, give them more energy so that they can both cast their ultimate. And then once they're in their ultimate, I think she stays in it. And so anytime she casts her active after that, you'll get 4 seconds of just straight up damage dealt increased, which will go great with her passive because they take more damage. So right now she's doing, what is that? Whatever percentage this will be, say 50%, plus they take 25% more damage. Oh my goodness, that's nuts. So her ult, Divine Presence, permanently enters Divine Presence status. So she stays in it upon casting. So it's like the male Galabar, how once he uses his ult, he stays in that tree form, that defensive one. So permanently enters Divine Presence status upon casting and instantly moves behind the weakest enemy. Like, what do you mean by the weakest enemy? The lowest health? That's what I assume. But it could be the lowest strength. It could be the lowest energy. I have no clue. That it does not very descriptive. Maybe say instantly moves behind the enemy with the lowest constitution. That might be it. So Wrath can be gained in Divine Presence status. Okay, so that's a new little ticker that she has. You have energy and now you have Wrath. The caster can consume 1 Wrath to replace normal attacks with 3 quick attacks. Do they all do the same damage as her normal attacks? If that's the case, that's so crazy. Because her damage dealt is increased already from her active. Her passive makes them take 25% more damage. And then now you have 3 quick attacks instead of 1 normal attack. So like basically you get times 3 damage from a normal attack. And that takes 1 Wrath to replace it. So when casting the quick attacks, so the 3 quick attacks, the caster gains immunity against control effects and has a 75% chance to ignore enemy strength resistance and fortitude. So it's just like the piercing effect from the new Kivak female that we just read about. But this is a 75% chance, which is way more than the 30% chance, way more than the 60% chance. So when casting quick attack, anytime it goes off 3 times, the caster gains immunity against control effects and has a 75% chance to ignore enemy strength resist. So all of her quick attacks, not only do they take 25% more damage, not only is her damage dealt increased by a certain percentage, but she also ignores strength resistance and fortitude. So she is pure damage. She is 100% pure, unadulterated damage, and her active at the beginning just allows her to get into her Super Saiyan state, which allows her to just go nuts. So when an enemy dies... Oh, wait, sorry. Each cast gains 5 wrath. Each cast of the ultimate? So you gain 5 wrath from that? Or do you get it from the each quick attacks, which will be all the time, she'll constantly have wrath, and so she'll constantly be doing quick attacks. I don't understand why they made this mechanism. I'm gonna have to see her in play to find out. But really, I hope they refund me my Romulus shard so that I can get this Bloodcraft legend. She is insane. I want her. She's the Bloodcraft I want. All right. When an enemy dies or casts ultimates during the divine presence, the caster also gets... So basically, she has an unlimited pool of wrath, so you need her attack speed like out the wazoo. So, okay. So we've figured her out. She's awesome. So let's talk about a couple things real quick. For the Kivak clan, you're going to... obviously, for the male... I'm going to go over traits real quick, what I would do. The male's going to want a little bit more survivability than the female, I think, because none of his things offer survivability. I think he had, no, he does a stun. I don't even think he gains any health. He has this lifesteal with his ult for 8 seconds, which will be good. But, his survivability, I think, is less than hers. Either way. So for him, you're obviously going to want brutal, probably honorable just to get in there. It doesn't seem like you really need his ult to go off as quickly. So you don't really need ambitious or focused unless you're doing a certain build with that. And with this new sprite, you maybe don't want him to cast his ult too swiftly because he's doing so many good things from his passive, you know. You're probably going to want agile because look at this. He gets 30%, give him another 30. He's like plunking off even with the soft cap. That's really nice. You have your strength capped with your brutal. Maybe giving him an aggressive as well to kind of be in there, getting extra strength. Because look at this. Anytime his active's going off, he's got great strength going off. So, and then lifesteal. I don't really recommend Cutthroat, but maybe see how it does with this guy. Because he's got such a fast attack. He's doing a lot of damage. Just maybe see how it does, you know. For the female, this is the one I'm getting. So I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to build her. Pure strength. Because this nimble pounce is going off constantly. She's just throwing these massive spears. I'm getting aggressive. Because I want her strength to go up by 20% with each attack. So 10 attacks, it's maxed. I'm not going to go fighting will because that affects the first 10 seconds. And if someone has the sprite against her, I'm not going to remove her debuffs. And by the way, there could be somebody out there that has an active. Like, does the Zace clan remove debuffs? I know the female prophet, Dawnbreaker, she removes debuffs whenever she casts her ult, which could be significant if you want to build that way kind of thing. But here's another thing. If she can't cast her ult, you're going to need a dispel that's either in the active or passive or something that's just basically not the ult to get around this new sprite. This new sprite's going to be deadly, everybody. So get ready. Everyone's going to have to change their group around to be able to compensate for it. So for her, I would, of course, do brutal. I would do aggressive. Potentially honorable if she's taken. Oh, no, sorry. Steadfast. Definitely going to go steadfast on her because she's going to have so much strength, so much vigor. I'm going to put on her. I'm gonna go balls to the wall on her. So steadfast, brutal, aggressive, and for the last one, maybe Furious Thunderbolt, which is the Thunderlord clan. If y'all recall, there's a certain chance that normal attacks can deal like a ton more damage. And because she's going to have that piercing effect, just ignoring all that strength resistance, ignoring all that fortitude, she's just going to be awesome. I'm going to buff her up because I don't know if I can get that Bloodcraft Legend. Like I said, with the whole Romulus situation, I don't know how that's going to turn her out. I would do something similar for Aiko. I would give her brutal, definitely. Man, she's getting all those attacks in. Probably Furious Thunderbolt again because those quick strikes. I assume that they proc the Furious Thunderbolt. If they don't, I wouldn't go that. Aggressive, get her strength up. Like, she's just a monster. I'd probably go Steadfast again just to give her a little protection. I feel like if you have Steadfast, you don't really need Honorable so much. And people are kind of getting away from male Soul Reapers, so I think Energetic is kind of taking a backseat to Honorable a little bit again. So let's look at this. Let's look one more time at this sprite. So this sprite is going to cause a lot of damage because there's, maybe one of my sprites I don't really care for that's lower level. Like, I really like this one here, but look, I got a level 1 ability. All allied champions in front row take 10% less damage. Awesome. And all allies in the back row deal 10% for 10 seconds. Actually, I love that sprite skill. So let me look at some of the other ones real quick. What might I give up? Let's see this Awakened Sprite Hipperin. Not level 2, though. All allied champions' active skills and ultimate skills do 13. Gotta keep that. That's so strong. Keeping that sprite for sure. So maybe it's my highest level sprite that I'm going to have to get rid of, which makes me sad. And this is when attacking. If the enemy target has more than 50%, you do 15%. I'm sorry. See, I might not even get the new sprite. If I do, I'm going to replace this last one because the effect is only within the first 15 seconds, I believe it was, where the other two affects the whole battle. Active and ultimate skills get increased the whole battle. The other one, if they're above 50% at any time, so if they get healed, you do 15% more damage, which is like a Lionheart, basically. It's really nice. So I'll probably be getting rid of this one, which is okay. It's my least leveled. It's my least ascended sprite. So you guys got to kind of work around who you have ascended, who you have, powerful, whatnot. So I'll be getting this Bulko Affinity here. I can't wait. I definitely want to get this sprite. And I'll just let other people deal with it. So, okay. So that's basically everything that came out. I'll do a highlight video when we get there. But I also wanted to see if there are any clans that have a Dispel as part of their kit. Maybe as their... why do I keep doing this? I'm very scatterbrained right now. Alright. So, maybe some champs that I just don't really know about very well have a Dispel. Like, I was going to, look at the Zace. I know they have deals constant. They take, okay. Creates a ward at the back row. Increases strength. Creates a ward target dealing... And that does a silence. So, male Zace doesn't do anything. What does female Zace? I don't even know what these do. Missiles. Just caster's crit rate by 40%. That's nuts. You build her with Plume Dance. That could be really good. Like, does anybody have the ability to remove debuffs? There's defense up, healing up. No. Heal. Azon, absorbing damage. It's a shield. Increases strength. Azon's always been awesome. Reduces enemies' damage. He's just very simple, Does his dispel? Dang. I have no idea. Does anybody, like, let's talk some dispels. Like, does anybody know um, who we could possibly use? I think I mentioned to you. Oh! Male Lume active. Yeah! Cast a Chrono Circle, which dispels all teammates' debuffs and recovers all teammates' health. Get ready, everybody. Male Lume's coming back. Male Lume's coming back. And remember, his active will go off pretty quick. I don't know how big the circle is, but that's someone we can use again. He's going to be completely viable. He's going to demolish that sprite and allow your Male Water and Sun to start pulsing. Right there, Male Lume, everybody. I'm calling it on this video right now. Male Lume will go well with against the new sprite. So let's look to see if anyone else. She's stunned. She doesn't remove debuffs. And it has to kind of be an active. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't cast your ultimate. So I don't think any of them remove debuffs. Oh, wow. My phone's getting really hot. Removing debuffs. Removing debuffs. Is she? Okay, this is just a water shield, but it doesn't remove debuffs. Neither does her passive. Sorry. She would have been great if that would have been the case. So the Prophet's ult will remove all debuffs. See? And cast all damage will be... Oh, immediately removes all debuffs, excluding those that cannot be removed. So, but it said the sprites can be removed. What else? Does this guy have a debuff removal? I don't even know anything about the Tide Razors. Stunned on enemies, increased allied champions, and reduces enemies' attack speed. Okay, no, there's... Man, Mel Lume is going to be the new hero. He's going to be the new... everyone's going to have Mel Lume on their team now. And then not to mention his Resurrection Ultimate. It's going to be awesome. Oh my goodness. I might put Male Lume in my primary group. Like, check this out. Or, sorry, my Male Water and Sun group. Just because I need that ult in particular to go off the quickest. Or I could, yeah. So get this. Everybody, I'm serious about this. So here's my current group makeups that I'm going to be rolling with. I don't have the spider leveled up enough. But guess what we're going to do here? It's going to be like this. Male Lume, man. I think that active is so important. You got to have it. So, and you know what? This might cause me to remove the female Lume. And no, I might just keep her. I might just keep her. Yeah, this is crazy. So this new sprite's going to change a lot of things, everybody. And if it does, like, that's crazy. So get ready. For now, I'll do another video on that, and I'll focus on Male Lume. And it'll be good, because I'm getting pretty close to getting him up to 15 stars. So talk about perfect timing, right? Who did I have on this team before? Oh, yeah, Female Spider. Oh, Female Spider, by the way, one of my favorite champs. So, everybody, I'd like to thank you for watching my video. Check out some of my Nomish Schoolish strategy also on my YouTube channel. If you like this video, hit it with a like. If you like what I put out, do a subscribe. And if you want it as soon as I put it out so it can help you make decisions on what champs you're going to go with, the male or the female, or if you want to save your summoning crystals, that's good. That's what I'm here for, man. So again, this is Gnome, server X160. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you later.